Stop. Don't skip this video. What you are about to hear in the next few minutes did not reach you by chance. I know what you have been feeling. That tightness in your chest when the house goes quiet. The strange sensation of being surrounded by people and yet remaining lonely on the inside. You wake up tired, spend the day tired, go to sleep tired, and one question won't leave you. Will my life always be like this? I am your dad. And today I have come to tell you something that will change the way you see everything happening in your life right now. You are not stuck. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are being prepared. In the next few minutes, I will reveal 3 things to you. First, why you feel disconnected even while doing everything you think is right. Second, what is the true cause behind the doors that have closed in your life? And third, the heart of this video. What is the fresh start I have already prepared for you, and which will change your destiny? It is not about luck. It is not about merit. It is about time, and my time for you is now. So stay with me until the end, because the part that will touch you most is not at the beginning. It is at the moment you least expect it. I see you now. Perhaps in the kitchen after a long day. Perhaps in your car, stuck in traffic in a city that never stops. Perhaps lying down, phone in hand, trying to understand why, at 40, at 50 years old, you still feel like you are waiting for life to truly begin. I saw every tear you hid so as not to worry your children. I heard every prayer you whispered, thinking no one was listening. None were lost. What you call a rough patch, I call the crossing. What you call a closed door, I call protection. There are things you asked me for while crying that would have destroyed you had I delivered them. Today I need you to understand a truth. Your life is not silent for lack of effort. It is silent because I am swapping your bad company. And until the right connection arrives, I keep the wrong ones away from you. Even if it hurts, even if it feels like abandonment. And perhaps hearing this, something has stirred inside you. An unrest, as if a part of you already knew this exchange had begun, and you just didn't have the words for what you felt. Not everyone notices this. Most people go through their entire lives without ever realizing they are being moved by a greater hand. But you noticed, and those who notice carry a different weight, because what I prepare for you is never just for you. It is for your home. It is for your children. It is for the blood that comes after you. You are not here just seeking relief for yourself. You are, without knowing how to explain it, trying to protect your own. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If You're Saved for Judgment Day. In this book, I show you the signs of someone being prepared for something greater and how not to waste the time of your crossing. The link is in the video description and pinned to the top of the comments. Just tap and open it. Thousands of people who were exactly where you are today opened this book and wrote to me saying that there, finally, they understood what was happening to them and that their life began to turn in a new direction. But I must be honest with you. This content may be taken down at any moment because not every calling remains available forever. Do not leave for later what I have placed in front of you today. If you feel, even slightly, that this message is for you, write Amen down here in the comments. This will be your first yes. Now I need you to recognize the signs, because before I give you the fresh start, you need to see clearly what the bad company did to you, and they left marks. Marks you learned to call normal, but which were never normal. The first sign is the exhaustion that sleep does not cure. You sleep 8 hours and wake up as if you hadn't laid down. This exhaustion is not of the body, it is of the soul. It is the weight of carrying relationships that only take and never give back. It is the burnout of being the strong one for everyone, of being the shoulder, the harbor, the solution, and never having anywhere to run when you are the one collapsing. The second sign is the feeling of always giving and almost never receiving. You are the one who calls. You are the one who remembers the birthday. You are the one who rescues, who lends, who listens to others' problems until dawn. But when it is your turn to need something, the phone stays silent, and you have grown accustomed to this silence, thinking that asking for help is weakness, when in truth it is just a lack of the right people by your side. The third sign is the mistrust that became a habit. You have been betrayed, disappointed, used so many times that today you expect the worst from people even before they do anything. This is not your malice. It is a scar. But a scar, when it becomes a wall, does not just protect you from bad company. It also locks the door to the right people who stay outside knocking without you even realizing it. And the fourth sign, this is the quietest of all, you stopped dreaming. It wasn't all at once, it was slow. One dream at a time, you tucked them away in a drawer, saying, "This isn't for me. My time has passed. Now it's just work and endure." You didn't notice the exact day you stopped, but you did. And a life without dreams is not a bad life. It is worse. It is a lukewarm life, which doesn't hurt enough for you to react, but also doesn't bring enough joy to be worth it. And if you recognized yourself just now, realizing you stopped dreaming without even knowing when it happened, understand this. I did not bring you this far to leave you where you are. Your family needs you whole, not what was left of you after the world wore you down. In the book, How to Know If You're Saved for Judgment Day, I show you step by step the way back to who you were before fear silenced you. The link is in the description and at the top of the comments. Do not postpone your turnaround, because its time is shorter than you imagine. Now comes the question that changes everything. You recognize the signs, but do you know the cause? Because treating a sign without understanding the cause is like trying to dry ice. And I did not call you here for you to dry ice. I called you for you to be free. The first cause is this, and it is harder than it seems. You were loyal to connections that had already expired. You know when medicine passes its expiration date, it doesn't turn into poison overnight. It gradually loses its strength, and when you realize it, you are taking something every day that doesn't cure anything anymore. There are relationships in your life like that. Their purpose was fulfilled a long time ago. It could be a 20-year friendship that today only pulls you down. It could be a partnership, a relationship, a family bond that became just an obligation. But you stay there out of habit, out of history, out of fear of hurting, out of thinking that quitting is failing. And while you hold with both hands what has already expired, there is no hand left free to receive what I am extending to you. The second cause is that you confused history with destiny. You think that whoever was in your past has an automatic right to be in your future. But they don't. Some people entered your life for a chapter, and you wanted to turn it into an entire book. The fact that someone knew you at your worst phase does not mean that person was made to accompany you at your best. Think carefully. There are people who only know how to love you when you are small. While you were down, it was friendship. It was support. When you started to lift your head, the strange coldness began, the digs, the "you've changed." It wasn't you who changed for the worse. It was you who grew, and not everyone fits in your big life. The third cause has a name, and its name is fear. The fear of being alone made you accept less than you deserve. You lowered your standard, not because you weren't worth more, but because you were terrified of the void, and so you filled your life with presence without connection. People by your side, but no one together. A full house on Sunday, but no real conversation. Messages all day on your phone, but no encounter that touches the soul. Fear convinced you that this was better than loneliness. I tell you, it is not. The loneliness that prepares is 1,000 times better than the company that makes you ill. The fourth cause, and this is the deepest of all, is that you were looking for connection in the wrong place. You looked horizontally in other people when the connection that changes destiny starts vertically. It starts between you and me. Every time you tried to make a person your salvation, your peace, your everything, you placed on a creature a weight that only the Creator can bear. And the person collapsed, not because they were bad, but because they were never made to occupy my place. You demanded from human beings a constancy that is only divine. And then you got hurt when they failed to be what they could never be. And if this bothered you, it is because it is true. Before I show you the solution, let me remind you of one simple thing. If these words are reaching the right place inside you, leave your like on this video and subscribe to the channel, because the algorithm needs to understand that this message must reach other people who are suffering in silence, just as you have suffered. You can be the reason someone doesn't give up today. Turn on the notification bell too, so you don't miss the next calling. The fifth and final cause is the one that imprisons you the most. You never truly disconnected from what hurt you. You even physically left some situations, but remained connected on the inside. Through resentment, through demands, through the conversation you still have in your head with those who have already left, rehearsing what you would say, reliving what hurt. And while you spend your energy keeping a connection with pain alive, there is no space left, no signal left, no open line for the fresh start I want to establish. It is like trying to answer a new call with the phone busy on a call that should have been ended years ago. The new signal even tries to get through, but it's busy. It's always busy. And that is exactly why, because your heart is still busy holding on to what has passed, that I need to tell you firmly, there is a calling ringing on your line now, and you cannot answer it while you remain trapped in what is already gone. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If You're Saved for Judgment Day. It is the map for you to disconnect from bad company without guilt and recognize the right signal when it arrives. The link is in the description and pinned to the top of the comments. Do not treat this as just another video. Treat it as the warning you had been asking for without knowing how to ask. Now breathe, because the part that will lift you up has arrived. You have seen the signs, you have understood the causes. Now I will give you the solution, and it has 5 steps. 5 steps for you to prepare your heart for the fresh start that will change your destiny. Do not skip any, each one opens the door to the next. The first step is to empty. Before receiving, you must make space. And making space in your case means forgiving, not for the other person, for you. Forgiveness is not saying that what they did to you was right. Forgiveness is cutting the invisible thread that still ties you to whoever hurt you. As long as you do not forgive, you carry that person everywhere. They live rent-free inside your head, eat from your peace, sleep in your insomnia. To forgive is to evict this tenant. It is to say, I will no longer pay the rent of my soul for someone who has already left. Take a name now, the name that came to your mind when I spoke of resentment, and decide today to start letting go. You won't be able to do it all at once. But the decision that you make today, think of who it is. Maybe it's an ex-partner, an absent father, a partner who deceived you, a friend who turned their back, or perhaps, and this hurts more, it is yourself, for a choice you haven't forgiven yourself for to this day. Whoever it is, the first step is this. Empty your hand so it can hold something else. And while you think of that name, I want you to do one thing. Write in the comments just one word. Released. You don't need to explain it to anyone. But writing this is you announcing to the invisible world that you have decided to make space. And when you read the released of other people, you understand that you are not alone in this crossing. There is a multitude crossing with you, right now, at this very moment. The second step is to silence. You live surrounded by noise, the television on so you don't have to think, the phone in your hand so you don't have to feel, a life full of tasks so you don't have to hear what your heart has to say. But I do not speak in the middle of the noise. I speak in the silence. And silence scares you because in the silence you meet what you have been running from. I ask you for one small thing, 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes without a screen, without sound, without anyone. It can be in the morning before the house wakes up. It can be at night after everyone has slept. Sit, close your eyes and just be. At first it will seem like a waste of time. That anxiety to get up and do something useful will come. Resist. Because it is precisely in those 10 minutes that the line becomes free for me to speak to you. The fresh start will not arrive with fireworks. It will arrive as a clear intuition in the middle of the silence. And if you never silence, you will never hear. Let me tell you about a woman. I will call her Mrs. Higgins because the real name doesn't matter. What matters is that she could be your neighbor, your sister, or you. Mrs. Higgins was 52 years old when she thought her life had already given all it had to give. The children raised, the marriage dissolved years ago, the routine between work and the soap opera. She was living, but she wasn't alive. One day she started doing just this, 10 minutes of silence before sleeping, without even knowing very well why. In the third week, in the middle of the silence, came a clear, almost stubborn desire to return to doing something she had abandoned in her youth, cooking for others. She thought it was silly, but the desire wouldn't go away. She started small, selling meals to her neighbors. Today, 3 years later, Mrs. Higgins has clients, has a purpose, has new and good people in her life, and has back something she thought was lost forever, the joy of waking up. Her fresh start didn't come from the sky tearing open. It came from within the silence she had the courage to face. And what I did for her, I want to do for you. but you need to give me the silence first. The third step is to recognize. And this step is crucial because most people lose the right connection by expecting it with the wrong face. You created in your head an image of how your blessing will arrive. And then, when it arrives differently than you imagined, you don't recognize it and you let it pass. The fresh start almost never looks like the old one. If your past connections were intense, loud, full of drama and reconciliation, the new one will seem dull to you at first, because it will be calm, it will be light, it will be secure. And you, addicted to intensity, will mistake peace for boredom. Pay attention. The connection that comes from me will not give you that butterflies in the stomach feeling of uncertainty. It will give you the rarest thing that exists, which is the tranquility of having no fear. It could be a person. It could be a friendship that appears in the right phase. It could be a job opportunity, a community, a group, a place where for the first time you feel at home. But whatever it is, the sign of recognition is always the same. Near the right connection, you don't need to pretend to be anyone, you just need to be. And look, if you made it this far in this video, it's because you are not the type who gives up easily. So do the following. Comment down below what connection you're waiting for. Is it a new friendship? Is it true love? Is it a fresh start at work? Is it reconciliation with someone in the family? Write it. Because when you name what you are waiting for, you stop asking vaguely and start asking with direction. And a request with direction is the request I can answer faster. The fourth step is to trust in time. And this is the step where almost everyone gives up, just inches from the answer. You pray, you change, you strive, you silence, and the connection doesn't arrive on the day you marked. And then comes the voice of discouragement. It didn't work, it's not for me, I'll just stay like this. I need you to understand how my time works. I am not late. I am sowing. What is taking time is not my answer. It is the preparation on both sides. Because if the fresh start is a person, that person also needs to be ready. I will not give you someone unprepared for you, just as I will not give you to someone while you are still unprepared. The delay is not punishment. The delay is care. Think of a fruit. You can cut it green in a hurry, and it will be hard and sour, or you can wait for its time, and it will be sweet, just right, truly nourishing. I do not give you green connections. What I give you, I give ripe. And maturation takes time. Trusting in time is the highest form of faith, because it is trusting even without seeing. Do you know what breaks my heart most when looking at my children? Seeing how many people abandon their own blessing on the eve of it. How many people let go of the rope at the last meter. The exhaustion of waiting defeated faith just when the answer was already on its way. Do not be that person. Your story will not end in the waiting room, but for that, you need not get up from the chair before the time. The fifth step is to act now. And here I want to be very clear with you because the other 4 steps prepare the ground, but this is the one that moves your life. Faith without action is just a beautiful wish. I may have prepared the fresh start. I may have placed the person, the door, the opportunity on your path, but I will not walk the path in your place. Your part is to take the first step, even if it's small, even if you're afraid. Maybe the first step is sending that message you've been putting off for weeks. Maybe it's enrolling in that course. Maybe it's looking for the church, the group, the therapy. Maybe it's simply leaving the house tomorrow with an open heart instead of a closed one. What you cannot do is stay still waiting for everything to happen while you do nothing. The fresh start needs to find you in motion. Whoever stays locked in the house, inside and out, makes my work difficult. I work with doors, but someone needs to be willing to walk through. And this is where I need to speak directly to you firmly, like a dad who loves. You heard the 5 steps. You felt, at some point in this video, an internal confirmation. That feeling of, this is for me. This feeling is not a passing emotion. It is your spirit recognizing the voice of the one who created you, and now you are exactly at the point that separates those who hear from those who obey. Most will hear this video, feel good, and tomorrow be in exactly the same place, because hearing is easy and acting is rare. But you are not the majority. You were set apart for more, and whoever is set apart for more cannot live on spiritual crumbs. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If You're Saved for Judgment Day. It is not a video that ends and disappears. It is a material that you open in moments of doubt, on the day when faith cools, on the night when fear returns. It teaches you to recognize if you are really on the right path, and prepares you not only for the fresh start in this life, but for the most important encounter of all. The link is in the description and pinned to the top of the comments. It's just a tap away. People who felt exactly how you feel now opened this book and told me it was the turning point between continuing the same way and finally turning the page. And I warn you again, with love but with seriousness, this material may be taken down because the time for each calling has a beginning and an end. Do not leave for tomorrow the answer I placed in your hand today. If you decide today to answer the calling, write "I accept" here in the comments. Let these 2 words be your commitment, not just to me, but to the life that is waiting for you. Now let me tell you something you may have never stopped to think about. You spent years thinking you were waiting for a person, waiting for a love, a friend, a chance. But the deepest truth is this: the fresh start that will change your destiny is not first and foremost with another person. It is with me. Everything you look for in others, the acceptance, the constancy, the love that doesn't leave when you fail, that only exists in pure form in one place. Here. In me. When you restore the vertical connection, when you return to trusting your dad, all the horizontal connections of your life reorganize themselves. The wrong people naturally drift away because they no longer fit in your new frequency. And the right people naturally approach because now you are vibrating in the place where they can find you. It is not magic, it is alignment. First the one above, then the rest falls into place. Think of your life as a house. You spent years trying to rearrange the furniture, change the decor, change who enters and who leaves through the door. But the structure, the foundation, was cracked. And new furniture in a house with a cracked foundation does not help. The connection with me is the foundation, it is the base. When the base is firm, you can rebuild everything that is on top of it. And that is why I do not give you the fresh start before you strengthen this one. It is not my selfishness, it is spiritual engineering. I do not build the roof before the foundation. No good builder does that. And look how everything I told you connects. The first step to empty is to remove the rubble from the land. The second, to silence, is to listen to the engineer. The third, to recognize, is to know how to read the blueprint. The fourth, to trust in time, is to respect the drying of the concrete. And the fifth, to act, is to pick up the tool. You are not lost. You are under construction. And construction is messy, it is uncomfortable, it makes you want to give up in the middle. But construction ends. And when it ends, what was an abandoned lot becomes a home. I want you to also understand why all this is happening precisely now in this phase of your life. You are past 35, 40, 50, and the world made you believe that the best has already passed, that a fresh start is for the young, that at your age it is just about managing what is left. That is a lie, and it is one of the lies that saddens me most to see my children believe. Your maturity is not your end, it is your greatest advantage, because now you know how to differentiate what is true from what is appearance. Now you are not fooled by anything shiny. Now you recognize character, you recognize constancy, you recognize peace. The young chase intensity because they still don't know its price. You already know. And that is exactly why the fresh start arrives for you now and not before. Before, you were not ready to recognize it. Everything you lived, including what hurt you, was the training. You are not too old for your blessing. You are finally mature enough for it. Let me remind you of another story, because I know that stories touch where explanations cannot reach. There was a man, I will call him Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller retired and 3 months later fell into a sadness he didn't know how to name. He had worked his entire life, and when the work stopped, he discovered that his entire identity was tied to that. Without the badge, he no longer knew who he was. His wife had already passed, his children lived far away, and he spent his days on the porch chair looking at the gate. Mr. Miller thought life had ended, but he started, without much faith, to take the 5 steps I just taught you. Empty, he forgave a brother he had been fighting with for 20 years. Silence, He started having breakfast without the radio on, just in the backyard, in peace. Recognize, he noticed that the younger neighbor was also always alone. Trust, he didn't force anything, let it happen at the right time, and act. One day he simply crossed the street and invited the neighbor for a coffee. Today, Mr. Miller coordinates a group of almost 30 men from the neighborhood who meet every week. They fix things for the widows in the region, talk, look after each other. Mr. Miller, who thought he would die of sadness on the porch, became a reference, became support, became a father to many who didn't have one. His fresh start was not a single encounter. It was an entire new life. And it started with the courage to cross a street. Your street to cross may be much smaller than you imagine. I know what is still holding you back. It is fear. The fear of trying again and being disappointed again. The fear of opening your heart and getting another knife in the back. You think, I already tried, I already got hurt, it is safer to stay as I am. But pay attention to what I'm going to tell you, because it is the truth that sets you free. The place where you are today is not safe. You just got used to it. Some people confuse getting used to something with being well. You are not safe in your zone of sadness. You are just anesthetized. And an anesthetized life is not a protected life. It is a postponed life. The risk of trying hurts for a while. The risk of not trying hurts forever. And I did not create you for a pain that lasts forever. I created you for joy. I created you for the encounter. I created you for connection. And think of your family, because this is not just about you. Your children, your grandchildren, they learn what love is by looking at you. If they see you give up, they learn to give up. If they see you closed off, they learn to close themselves off. But if they see you at your age with your scars, having the courage to open your heart again, to start over, to trust again, you teach them the most valuable lesson a human being can receive, that never, at any time, is it too late for life to start over. Your courage today becomes an inheritance tomorrow. You are not just seeking a fresh start. You are breaking a chain of fear that perhaps comes from many generations before you, and you are planting in its place a chain of faith. That is the size of what is in your hands now. Maybe you are asking yourself, but what if I do all this and it doesn't work out? I answer you with another question. And what if it does? And what if, a year from now, you look back and realize that this video, this day, this exact moment, was the point where your life turned around? You won't know if you don't try. Doubt is only resolved from the inside of action, never from the outside. And I am not calling you to a bet. I am calling you to a certainty. My certainty. I have already seen the other side of your crossing. I have already been in your future, and I guarantee you it is worth getting there. So this is where I end what I came to tell you today, and I want you to keep every word. If you made it to the end of this video, this was not a distraction, and it was not chance. It was an appointment. It was my way of sitting by your side today and talking to you in the only language that could still reach you. You heard why you feel disconnected. You heard the causes that trapped you, and you heard the 5 steps to prepare your heart. Now the responsibility has changed hands. It is no longer with me. It is with you. I did my part, which was to warn you. Your part is not to pretend you didn't hear. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If You're Saved for Judgment Day, so that you have in hand, every day, the guide that will ground you when the courage from this video passes and real life starts again. The link is right in the video description, and also pinned to the top of the comments. It's just a tap away. Do not treat this as just another piece of content you watched and forgot. Treat it as the message you can no longer postpone, because it may be taken down, and because your turnaround cannot wait another year of your life. Go there now, still today, while your heart is soft and the truth is fresh. And when you decide truly to make space for the fresh start I have prepared, write here in the comments, I am ready. Don't write it just to write it. Write it like someone signing a commitment to their own destiny. And to close, do 3 things for yourself, not for me. Leave your like on this video, because it will make this message reach another tired heart that needs to hear what you heard. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell, because the next message may be exactly the piece that will be missing tomorrow. And come back here to the comments to tell, in a while, what changed. Because it will change. Your wait is over. The preparation is over. What comes now is the encounter. And I am already here on the other side, waiting for you to cross. Don't delay, I love you. And the best of your story hasn't even begun. Amen.